I beg your pardon. I never lie.
You're lying because I know for a fact that you went to Abhay's office to criticize me, cut me down behind my back, blame the way I am on...
On what?
You know. You know the trash you tell people when you're embarrassed by something I do.
I am an eminent lecturer, Shivani. I'm not in the habit of talking trash.
Don't act all high and mighty with me. I know you. I know what you did and you're trying to do it again.
And what is this new misdemeanor you're accusing me of now?
Nothing she ever did was good enough for you. You were always grumbling and complaining and putting pressure on her to change, to do this, to do that, to behave differently, dress differently, talk differently. You even tried to get her to stop reading the books she liked and start reading the ones you thought she should read. And now you want to run my life too.
I am not in the habit of running anyone's life. Not my own either. It's too great a responsibility.
You're lying. You tried to run her life and make her the image of whatever you thought was perfection. And when she couldn't live up to it, because she was too strong an individual herself, you couldn't cope with it. You began to torture her psychologically. You began to harass her about a million little everyday things. You made her life hell.
I thought we were talking about you and not your mother.
Yes, we are. This is about me. Because now you're trying to do the same thing to me that you did to her. That's why you met this Abhay character today, to talk about me behind my back. Because you didn't approve of the way I protested against that campaign. And you resented the fact that I succeeded. You couldn't cope with it. Like you couldn't cope with the fact that my mother got into IIT. It threatened your inflated male ego, so now you're trying to negate me. You're trying to cut me down behind my back.
You're going beyond the boundaries of the subject. Could we please stick to the point?
I'll stick to the point. Here's the one thing I wanted to tell you. To tell anyone. It's that you, not her, were the reason why the marriage broke up. You were the reason she was forced to leave. And if you deny that, as you almost certainly will, then you'll be lying. Lying.
Abhay, you are here? See, Rags has been calling you all over the place. He's trying to find out where you are.
Tell him to go and look me up the chimney.
Abhay, what happened? Why are you so angry?
I hate that woman. I could just put my hands around her throat and squeeze until...
तू काय बोलतो आहेस, huh? What happened all of a sudden?
That MII female, she's making my life hell.
Who?
That activist, feminist, journalist.
Acha, so Professor Shah's daughter?
She is the devil's daughter as far as I'm concerned.
Abhay, what has she done?
She doesn't need to do anything. Because of her, Rags won't even present my new campaign to the client.
Why? Has she told him not to?
No, Baba. Rags is afraid that she might start another media campaign and protest against these ads too.
So these ads are controversial.
They are satirical. You know, humorous takeoffs on current issues and things like that.
Yes, but they are controversial, na?
Well, if somebody wants to start a controversy, then yes, you can call them controversial and start a protest.
हे बघ अभय, मी काय सांगतो ते. Why do you want to take a chance? Huh? अरे, you do some सीधा साधा ad and forget about it. Why do you want to break your head for nothing at all?
Thank you very much for your support.
Hey, Buck, I am just trying to use some common sense. If you are going to create only controversial advertisements, then why are you blaming people like Shivani to raise objections? See, why are you giving them a chance to raise objections?
Why, you don't know that girl. She'll raise objections on nursery rhymes. She's I don't know what to call her. She's beyond abuse.
Why are you getting so angry over her? Huh? These type of people will always be there. And you are a creative person. You must learn to face criticism.
Sure, why not? I have to face it from you every day, isn't it?
Hello, Abhay. I'm glad you could make it. My students are looking forward to hearing you.
You're pulling my leg, Professor. They probably haven't heard of me before.
Oh, don't be so modest. That controversy has made you famous. You were the subject of endless and heated debate in the college canteen for several days.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment, Professor.
Take it for what it is. Public attention is good. It is better to be in the limelight than to be lost in the dark.
Well, over the past few weeks, I've had so much public attention, I think I'm going to get sick.
Well, don't get sick on me. My students are really going to grill you. And I hope you will take it with good humor.
Well, I've taken it from the press, from your daughter, my partner, from my father, my brother. I think I can manage a few undergrad students.
That's the spirit. Any more new controversial campaigns coming up?
Oh, yes, there is this one which I did last week. But my partner, he didn't even present it to the client. He thought it would attract too much controversy.
Excellent. You must show this campaign to my students. Then we can discuss the issue of self-regulation and the need for an advertising code of ethics.
I'm sorry, sir. I haven't bought those ads with me. I didn't know we would need to...
Because she... What's he doing here?
Shivani, please don't create another scene.
Why is he here?
I've invited him as a guest lecturer for my marketing and advertising class.
I hope you're wearing your armor, buddy, because they're gonna tear you apart.
You can't let him speak at MII. That's exactly what he wants. Free publicity.
Oh, check your facts before you jump to conclusions.
With people like you, there is only one conclusion.
Hold on, all of you. Abhay is here at my invitation and he will speak. Every viewpoint must be heard. After that, the students are free to arrive at whatever conclusions they want to.
He doesn't deserve to be heard.
Obviously, you've lost all your objectivity. Since you were so involved with the controversy, you can't see any sense at all.
Come on, Rajat, let's talk to Vidyut.
Why are you bringing Vidyut into this?
Because he's the head of the department.
This is not a departmental matter.
This is a college matter. We'll speak to the dean if we have to, but this man isn't going to speak at MII.
Rajat, talk sense to her. She's quite capable of raising an unnecessary storm.
I'm sorry, sir, but on this one I tend to agree with her. You better get back to your agency, mister. We don't need you to lecture us.
And why don't you mind your own business?
God, I'm really sorry, Abhay. I didn't know this could happen.
It's all right, Professor. It wasn't your fault.
What hurts me is that it was my daughter who created this unnecessary controversy. It was just a simple lecture, for God's sake. After all, this is a free country, and everybody must have the freedom to express their point of view.
Not according to Shivani.
Ridiculous. Not allowing me to enter my own classroom. And that dean, he just stood there and did nothing. That's campus politics for you, led by that snake, Vidyut.
Well, I have to admit that I did expect some hostility, but definitely not a mob.
They are going now. They know they've won.
Well, I may as well get going myself. That is, if they let me off the campus alive.
They wouldn't dare harm you physically. In fact, Abhay, the students over here had never behaved like this over such a negligible matter as a guest lecturer. It's the politicking that has seeped into the college campus in recent years. MII was never like this before. Ask Aakash and Varsha. They'll tell you. MII was never like this before.
I have to say, Professor, I did expect some trouble. Shivani hates my guts, you know. I can't say I'm falling in love with her either.
That's the whole point. This is quite unlike Shivani. She's quite a well-balanced girl.
Excuse me if I disagree on that.
Look at me, trying to explain Shivani as if I knew her inside out.
Don't you? I mean, she's your daughter after all.
Yes, but you see, we haven't lived all our lives together.
Really? Where was she then?
With her mother, my ex-wife.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
It's all right. After all the insults she's heaped on you, the least I can do is try to explain her behavior.
So, how long ago did you and your wife separate?
Shivani was 10 years old. I'm afraid our differences were irreconcilable. And the omnipresent tension in the house took its toll on Shivani.
Sounds like any other broken family.
So, do you understand what I want you to do?
Yes. But you can't be serious about it. I mean, I know you've been talking about it for a while, but I thought it was burnout or stress or something.
No, I'm very serious. Chand, can you do this as quickly as possible?
Hold on a second. I don't understand this. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't understand
What's there
this.
to understand and not to understand, Chand? All I want you to do is to transfer the Shorkar companies, properties and trust funds to Mothalika's name. Now, I know this is a complicated legal matter, but I'm not interested in the logistics. You're very competent. You'll do the job.
All right, I get the legal side of it. That's fine, but...
That's the only side you need bother about, Chand. Leave the rest to me.
Pavan, we've come a long way together. You have to admit, over the past few years, our lives have been strangely intertwined. Almost as though our fates were interlinked.
Yes, I know. I have thought about that quite often.
But yet now, at a time like this, you want me to forget all of that? And be just your lawyer? Don't you think you're expecting too little of me?
No, I apologize. I didn't mean to be standoffish. It's just that you're the best person to handle this job quickly and efficiently.
I'll do the job. I'll transfer the Sarkar properties and control to your wife. But why? Why is this necessary, Pavan?
You mentioned fate a little while ago. Think of this as fate.
No, this is a choice you're making.
This is a choice that's been made for me.
But affects Madhulika too, and your unborn child.
Well then, this is their fate too.
Pavan, I hate to be saying this. Finally, when it comes down to it, I know I'm just your lawyer. But you've treated me with far more respect and responsibility you would have most other lawyers. So I think I can assume you treat me as more than just your legal counsel.
Yes, of course, Chand.
Then please, listen to me, reconsider this. If it's the celebrity lifestyle that's taking you, then we can change it. We can minimize your day-to-day functioning in the Sarkar companies and trust funds. Listen, you have enough money and property all over the world to retire from life if you want to right now. Travel, settle abroad, watch your child grow up, do all the things you wanted to, live.
You know, Chand, how do I put this to you? If you, for example, harnessed all the energy you're expending outwards and channelized it inwards, you could begin your journey of self-actualization too. You could empower yourself and find the real person within you. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Paul, I hate to put this so bluntly, but I don't believe all that mumbo jumbo. I like life. I like the squalor and struggle, the poverty and pain, the hate and love. I like this city. I like everything about it, even the things I hate, because it's alive. And I'm alive too. I like to be living in the living world, wasting my energy, misusing it, abusing it, whatever. I like to wake up and feel the pollution in my nostrils. I like to consume dozens of poisonous cups of tea. Whatever, huh? I like to enjoy these toxic pleasures because I need to live, Pavan. I could never run away from life like you're running away right now from a beautiful wife and child, from wealth unimaginable, from everything you own, possess, and desire.
You know, Chand, do you know Aakash? Aakash wrote a song once. The first verse of that song was earth, wind, rain and fire, wealth, power, blood, desire, one goal to live for before we die, one taste of glory, one mouthful of sky. What I took out of that verse was that after all the material things in life have been gained, wealth, power, desire, what really remains is for a person to live and die for that one taste of glory, that one mouthful of sky. To some people it means communion with the Creator. For me, I think of it as imbibing the spirit, the flesh, and the blood of God. I look at it as a way of achieving unity of mind and body. I'm just chasing my mouthful of sky. And I'm going to go wherever that path leads me.
Can you get the snacks and drinks when the guests arrive, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got held up by another interview.
That's okay, I just got here myself.
Can we start? I want to get back to the office by 3.
Another controversial campaign.
Actually, I want to get back to.
So, then it's true
What?
that you two hate each other's guts.
Can we start, please?
Sure. Now, as I told you both over the phone, we're starting a new column called the Lunch Crunch. Basically, the idea is that we get two celebrities together for lunch and then see what happens.
I don't know if I qualify as a celebrity.
After the way your name has been in the news lately, campaigning against obscenity in the media, your name and Abhay's name have become synonymous.
Are we going to talk about obscenity now? Because if we are, I don't think I'm going to be able to digest my lunch.
I'd probably puke.
No. The whole point of this column is to show our readers the other side of the personalities. This is going to be an informal meal, and we won't talk shop at all. You two should speak about your personal selves.
Now that's interesting.
Is it? I'm not sure I want to talk about my personal life in front of strangers.
Well, you don't seem to mind writing about it in your columns.
That's different.
How is it different? This is for a column too, isn't it? And it's going to be read by thousands of people. Thousands of strange people.
But none of them as strange as you.
Could we start a bit by talking about your backgrounds?
Sure.
Abhay, what made you get into advertising? Weren't you an architecture student at Jabalpur University?
No, I was a commercial arts student in Goa. And I always wanted to get into some form of mass communication. In fact, my first ambition was to paint. I did have a small exhibition of my work in Panjim, and it was very well received. But I didn't have a rich father to support my passion. In fact, by that time I didn't have a father at all. He walked out on us. So I had to do something to support my mother and sister. I took to painting hoardings at first.
You mean you actually climbed up on those bamboos and painted hoardings?
Yeah, and I was pretty good at it. In fact, there was this one client who loved one of my paintings so much that he kept it on for 6 months. Finally, the monsoons got the better of it.
And Shivani, didn't you also have a difficult childhood?
Well, I don't know if you'd call it difficult, but yeah, it was tough. My mother and father were both intellectuals, and they'd always argue about something or the other. But what made it worse was that under all that intellectual bickering, what they were actually arguing about were emotional issues.
You mean there was a subtext to all the intellectual arguing?
Yes. I don't know if it was conscious or not, but every time they felt neglected by each other, they'd argue about Karl Marx. And when they thought that the other one was neglecting me, they'd argue about Malthusian theory. It was quite amazing.
Well, that's better than my parents. Most of the times, they always bickered about whether to feed the chickens first or the pigs. So tell me, Shivani, once your parents split, you must have been really mad at your father, isn't it?
Yes, I was, but somehow I always blamed him more than I blamed my mother.
Well, that's because you stayed with your mother, not your father.
I never thought of it that way before.
Well, that's what happened to me. I stayed with my mother when my father left, so I always thought that he was the villain of the whole story. It's taken me so long to realize that there are no heroes or villains in a broken marriage. Just people.
That's exactly the conclusion I've come to. In fact, I was just talking to Rajat yesterday with exactly the same words. Heroes, villains, people.
Really? That's an amazing coincidence.
After that, when your mother left, did you stay with her or did you?
Yes, I did.
It's like a big party, everybody was there. So tell me, are you a journalist or are you just a
One mouthful of sky. So let's make a start and give me your